button too that you have
Got
to
it.
hit. Okay, awesome. Cool. So thanks everyone for getting on. I asked Bridget Moore to hop on. She's one of the Team Boom Diamond coaches for you guys that haven't had a chance to meet her at one of the live events or chat with her on Facebook. She originally was someone that I connected with on Facebook, and she was already doing Beachbody programs before we connected and started to really see some awesome results with it, and then kind of hit a plateau and was thinking about Shakeology because she was in my free group and she saw other people talking about Shakeology and how much they loved it. And so she kind of reached out to me about it, and I explained to her about the discount you get if you just sign up as a coach. And, it just makes sense to sign up as a coach just for the discount, even if you don't want to be a coach. And so she decided to do that. And I was like, do you want to just set up a time to talk real quick just so I can tell you a little bit about like what coaching is? I know you're not interested in it right now, but maybe I'll just tell you a little bit about it. And then, if people start asking you, what you're doing when they see you and haven't seen you in a long time, maybe in the back of your mind, it'd be like, oh, maybe, this coaching thing is something I want to do down the road. So I think she was kind of freaked out that I wanted to get on the call with her. But I kind of just kept following up with her and set up the time to get on the call and just kind of briefly explain a little bit like what I do. I kept it real simple, and she was like, that's a little bit different than what I thought. It seems a lot simpler. I thought it was all about selling, and this seems like something I'd actually enjoy. Maybe I'll just give it a shot and see how it goes. And now she's a diamond coach, and she's got a team of her own that's just killing it. So definitely, talk to your Shakeology customers about that discount they can get as a coach, and then talk to them a little bit about coaching and just make it really no pressure. Just, hey, I just want to tell you a little bit about coaching. I know you're not interested right now, but it's something to just kind of have in the back of your mind because you never know, what's going to happen.
Did I mute you, Pat?
Yeah, you muted me.
Sorry.
But that's all I want to say. So I asked Bridget to hop on. She's done this a few times on these team calls, but I wanted to get her on here again to share some of the new things she's been doing that have really helped her manage her time. Because, as you start to get more involved with coaching and you start to have coaches of your own, you start to have a team of coaches, you start to get pulled in different directions. So she's done an awesome job of managing her time, and she's done a great job of getting everything on her to-do list crossed off, which is great. So I wanted her to share a little bit about how she's been able to do those things. So Bridget, all yours.
All right. I just have a few tips, and I think time is going to always be a struggle for me just because my husband's schedule is crazy. So I can't be consistent every single day because his schedule isn't consistent. And since I have a daughter, it just it's difficult, but I try my best, and she's 4 now, and I know she's going to be in preschool soon. So I think it'll be a little bit easier for me. But first, I think that everybody needs to make a to-do list every single day. I read a couple of personal development books on it. I've done some push groups, and it just helps me so much to visually see it right next to me. And I tried doing an app on my phone because I like saving paper, and it just didn't work for me. So I write it out every single day, and I even have little boxes on here to check for social media how many times I post, because I'll go all day and forget to post anything. But I write everything down, like errands I have to run in my personal life, doing my follow-ups and invites, even though I know I have to do those every day. If I don't write it down and cross it off, I could forget to do, not forget, I just, my time goes. So first make a to-do list, and then anything that's super important. I know I read in Eat That Frog that he has A, B, C, D, but really you can star things that you have to do. You're the only one that's going to be able to do them. That's the most important thing to get done. Star them or put an A. I think B for him was something that you really need to do and other people are counting on you, but it can wait. And you've got to do those A things or stars first. You got to Eat That Frog is what is in the book. And it's anything I hate doing my invites and follow-ups, but I know that's the most important just because it's mundane, it's boring, it's not the most fun activity, but I have to do those first and get it over with so that I can get on with the rest of my day and do the things that are just as important. But, if you don't do your invites, you're not sharing your story with anyone. So make your list. And then after you, that's number one, make your list every day, either when you go to bed or when you first wake up in the morning. And then use the business activity tracker. I know in Coach Basics in October, we were all introduced, at least in Team Boom, to the business activity tracker. I've gone over it with some new Coach Basics groups, and I try to share that just because I know Pat has his accountability post each day, and I think Annie's group has an accountability post each day that says, how many invites, follow-ups, personal development. And those are the three, those are 2 vital behaviors because we all do our workouts. But the business activity tracker really breaks it down with, coach conversion, at least the one I use, and I'll post that in the group for everyone. But it breaks it down, coach conversion, which for me is a huge struggle. Sending that first, would you like to be an apprentice coach? And then, each step of, did you put someone on a group message? Did you do the 3-way call? And so I see if I don't, do my business activity tracker, which is basically an Excel spreadsheet on Google Docs. And I have it done, each month. If I, have any zeros there, like my coach and downline see that, they see like mine. So I have to keep up with it. And it just keeps me accountable to myself, to my coaches, on the vital behaviors in business. And so those are the first 2 things. And the third thing that I think is most important, and I learned it in May through a Beachbody training, it's called RSVP. And each of these 4 letters stands for how you should track your time with your Beachbody business. And R is for recruiting. So you want to spend, like if you have a power hour, your goal is to spend 15 minutes in each of these areas. So R is for recruiting, S is for sales, V is for very new people, and P is for performers. So for very new people and for performers, those are talking about coaches in your business. So when you sign up a new coach, or when you have a coach that's really trying hard to work the business. So recruiting, and you want to set goals. And so for recruiting, like my personal goal for July is to sign up 1 new coach a week. And that's a big goal, but before it was like 1 coach a month or 2 coaches a month. So, do whatever, wherever you're at in your business, make that goal and set it. Mindy, V is very new people. And I'll say that again when I go over it, just so you know. And when you're recruiting, that also is talking about like not just customers that you're doing your invites, but you also want to make sure that you are doing coach conversion, because, the business can change people's lives and not just your life. So you want to make sure that you're recruiting customers and then doing coach conversion with them. So sales, this is your next 15 minutes, and you can do this, in any order that you want. I try to focus on recruiting and sales, and then very new people and performers, just in that order. It's easy for me. But, if you want to work with your coaches, for your first 15 minutes, to each their own. Sales. So that's working with getting your success club, posting in your groups, getting, any customer service. So if you've got follow-ups to do with, customers that you have right now, you want to make sure you do that, because you want to retain all those customers that you've been working with. If you've gotten someone in your group, you don't want them to, say, hey, Bridget's not giving me the help I need, but, Pat over here, he looks like he's going to be better for me. You want to keep those customers and make sure that you're talking to them on a regular basis. And set your Success Club goals, Success Club 5 at the very least each month, Success Club 10 hopefully, and beyond, once you get the business going. Or when you first start, you never know. I know some people have done it like crazy when they first start. So any personal sales that you have, for me, I count things as, like if I'm posting about, something that's on sale, or posting about a new challenge group, that's sales to me, because that's going to get something on sale. So if I'm working on, my pic collage and creating an image, that's in my sales time. So I put that in my time. And then very new people. So these are your coaches. So when you first get a new coach signed up, those meetings that you set up with them to get on that 1-hour call, or, sending them the new coach videos, or sending them the emails, or working with them in Coach Basics. Those are all things that you would do during this very new people time. And then your brand new coaches. Those are your brand new coaches. And when you have those coaches, you'll notice in the first few weeks, like, are they going to be discount coaches? Are they going to be, hobby coaches? Or are they really going to be like the next top 10 coach? And you want to start with everyone thinking that could be the next elite coach, because you don't want to leave anyone behind. So with your very new people, you want to treat everyone the same. And then you'll see like over time, who's just a discount coach, because you don't want to, focus all your time on the discount coaches. And then P, again, is for performers. So this is any coach in your business, not just people getting Success Club, but people that you see every day. They're doing the vital behaviors, and they're really striving to make this business, work for them. So you'll see them doing it. And so I have like a list of things that, we could do during this time. But before I go over that, I kind of want you guys to think about it on your own. Like, what would you do during your recruiting time, your sales time, very new people, and performers? So this would be an hour. And let's say you work the business for 2 hours. You want to make sure that whatever you're doing is equal time. And Leanne Ruff is the one that did this training with me. And she just described it as like, these are the wheels on your car that drive your business. If you have 2 wheels that you're working on all the time, and you've got those tires aired up more than the others, you're just going to go in circles. You've really got to concentrate on all 4 areas to get to your destination, which for us is success. So, really, for me, it was difficult to think, okay, I've got to work with my coaches, as much as I'm doing my recruiting. And after a while, it really makes sense, because when I schedule, like the push to diamond groups for my performers, or the push to emerald groups, and I get on those calls, those are the people that are really making the money for us as, as higher up coaches, because we get those team cycles from all they're doing. So we want to really help them out. What I do for myself to keep on track with my time is I take my phone, and I have this free app, and mine's just called Stopwatch and Timer. And I set it in 15-minute increments. And I press start when I'm like doing my recruiting. I press start, and I have it here by my side, and it's it's on, and it's counting down, and it has an alarm go off every 15 minutes basically. So I press start each time the alarm goes off. But that really keeps me on time, because if you guys, are just sitting here working away, you'll see that clock and you'll be like, oh my gosh, an hour's gone by, and what have I done? So this for me keeps me on track, and I say, oh, okay, I can look over, I've got 8 minutes left. Like, I've really got to focus on what I've got to do and not, waste my time. So that has helped me, and it just keeps me on track, and having my to-do list, cross those off. And that's kind of how I get things done every day. So do we want to unmute people, Pat, and talk about like what we can do during those times? Or
Yeah, they can just unmute themselves.
Oh, okay, great.
I have a quick question.
I thought that was really good. Where did you get that RSVP thing?
So when I got to Diamond, was in this new group from Beachbody Corporate called May New Diamonds, and we had a Zoom call each week. And it was, I think, the 3rd week we did this RSVP. And so ever since then, it's just really helped me to like track what I'm doing and, focus on really, like, my coaches to me are my number 1 priority. And so I want to make sure that I've, dedicated enough time for each of my top coaches and for each of my new coaches. And this has really just like lit my fire to make sure I do that. And I think that it's helped them to like, know that I'm there for them, and they can reach out to me for anything, and not because I was more focused on customers before. So I think it's just helped me. But yeah, Leanne Ruff, anytime you're a new diamond now, they're doing these like 1-month groups on Facebook. So it's pretty awesome.
Another incentive to get to diamond. I think that's great.
Yeah.
For me, like, I think I always say that I don't sell. Like, Beachbody coaches don't sell. But people are buying stuff from me all the time. I mean, that's a huge part of what we do. But I think there's a difference between people buying stuff from me and selling. Like, if I was posting on Facebook, like, hey, here's Pio, here's a link, buy this from me, that's selling. But what I'm doing is posting about, what I love about Pio, telling them I'm starting on this date, and I'm just asking them, hey, do you want to do this with me? Not like go buy this from me, do this with me. Do you want to join me and do this together? I think that is 2 completely different things. Yes, both are going to, kind of be considered selling, but that's how I look at things. Like, I'm not going to be posting stuff for that section of the S part of RSVP.
Right.
I'm not going to be posting stuff on social media like, here's my link, buy this from me. Here's Pio, it's really good. If you're interested, message me. It's going to be something more like, this is the program I'm doing. This is what I love about it. if you're interested in joining me and doing this together, let me know and we can talk more about it.
Yeah. I mean, sales isn't for like, being salesy and spammy. It's for, who are you going to focus on? You're going to focus on your current customers and then people that you can, have in your challenge groups. So when you share about your challenge groups, when you share about what you're doing, that's sales. It's not saying this is on sale. Kind of.
Gotcha.
So,
cool.
Yeah.
I like that. I've been like kind of seeing that a lot. Like I'll be on Instagram or Facebook and I'll see like coaches, Team Boom, some, or not, that are just saying like, hey, here's a program. If you want to buy it, let me know, versus like, hey, this program is coming out, or we got a group of people that are all starting on this date. If you want to join us, if you want to do this together, let's do it. I think people are going to buy more of the product from you because it's more about doing something together versus like, hey, just go buy this from me. That kind of turns people off. So I just want to bring that up, like kind of separate from the RSVP thing. But yeah, I really love that S part of it because I think that's important too.
Yeah. So Annie, did you have a question?
Oh yeah, I was actually going to go into the S part. So you mentioned in the S part, your sales is actually being in your free challenge group, and like part of it is just maybe like an example. I don't know, maybe this is an example you can tell me, but like you can go into your free group and go back and work with your customers that you had I use that little microphone.
Magnifying glass.
Yeah, magnifying glass. And I like go back and search customers that I've added like in October, January, and I might do that and just say like, hey, I'm checking in, did you see our new challenge group? But I think it's really important to be in the group because sometimes, there's a lot of customers in there. So if you're sharing a group with a lot of coaches, you want to be in there and be active too. So
right. Yeah. And so my sales time, like the first thing I do in my sales time is I go to my group. That's when I like post the daily thread and then I read through like everything that's been posted and then go, from there through my contact list or whatever, depending on time.
Would you put like your follow-ups in recruiting?
I put my follow-ups in recruiting.
Okay. So like the coach to customer conversion.
Yeah. Coach to customer conversion, I put in recruiting. And that's just, we can all, put these things in whatever category works for us, but that works for me. So,
right.
Like when you do like the free internship groups, I put that in recruiting. If you do like wear and share, and you're talking to people about it, I put that in recruiting. Obviously you're not having a timer set, sitting next to you when you're out and about. I hope not.
Yeah. Sorry.
I've got 15 minutes and that's it. So, fit clubs I have in there. I don't know if anybody's doing those webinars. I know you guys did a call once on, recruiting coaches, when we had that porno guy join us. I don't remember what his name. Yeah, him.
Yeah, we need to do that again. I think we got scared away from
Yeah. But these Zoom calls would be good for that then because who's like being not so nice.
Right. Cool.
I have a question. Okay, so you said that your coaches are like your highest priority, and I feel like I'm stuck right in the middle of like my coaches are my highest priority, but I'm not to a point yet where I can't take myself out of first as well. So how did you balance as you're like building a team when you have like 4 or 5 coaches and trying to make them the priority, but still working on building your own business? Because I feel like I'm struggling right in the middle.
So yeah, so you've got like, that's why I use my timer because I don't want to, like I said, the 4 wheels, like you don't want to like focus too much on one area and then forget about another area because those coaches that you have, you want to keep those coaches just like the customers you have, you want to keep those customers. So set your timer and then know who, like I said, who's the hobbyist, who's a discount coach, and who's really going to be a performer because you don't want to waste your time on people, those empty ships that we always talk about. Just recognize those. And obviously you're not going to leave people out. Like I still have my coach group and anybody that is even a discount coach, they're always invited to, these meetings, my, personal meetings, they're invited to join us in Coach Basics, anything it's always out there for them. But I'm not going to say, hey, let's get on a call every week, for 10 minutes and talk about the business when they're not interested in that. So, you just got to focus your time on that. Does that help at all?
Yeah.
Set your timer.
I'm gonna try that.
What's the name of that app
I'm
again?
going on vacation, so
Mine is just called Stopwatch and Timer. I mean, I just searched for Stopwatch in the App Store, and I have an Android phone, so it's going to be different than what is on Apple,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I like that you do the 15 minutes because that like sometimes if I'm doing like an hour, all of a sudden the hour's gone and like
Right.
all I felt like I did was like photos and comment on photos. But if I have like that thing going off every 15 minutes, it'll kind of bring me back to, the RSVP stuff that I actually should be doing.
And that's how I did it. Leanne Ruff actually said, put an hour each time. But like a lot of us, when we're starting out, we don't have an hour to dedicate to Beachbody. So if we're doing our power hour, then that's why I do it 15 minutes because, usually in the mornings I can have 1 hour where I can say, okay, here's my 15 minutes for this, 15 minutes for that. And then, if I'm, have something to do, if I have to take Jalen somewhere, then I can wait and then come back later and have another 30 minutes, if something comes up. And she also, I know that personal development is not even in here. Our workouts are not in here. And Leanne Ruff said, that's personal development is something that we should all do anyway. And our workouts are something we should all do anyway that, they reflect the business, but that's not all business. So she didn't put that in here. I don't know if anybody would have a question about that, but, some people are like, what about that? My 10 pages. So. That's
well, it'll probably help you prioritize the things in each like step as well, rather than being like jumbled. Like, what's the most important stuff to get done?
Yeah, I have to do my to-do list, otherwise things don't get done.
Yeah, I was gonna ask Amy Reelman like what she liked about Eat That Frog because I know she read it. I think you're muted.
Oh. The what form?
Like the eat that frog, like how do you think that would relate to like how that would tie in with this RSVP thing?
I think it's really good because Eat That Frog is like eliminating things that you don't need to be doing and focusing on things that you should be. And like Bridget does, I mean, I make a list every single day. And I also make a list of like for my coach group, everyone that's posting in the group every day. And then since I made my own coach group, so today's Wednesday, tomorrow morning, I'll write on the Wednesday set thread, this day is closed. If you didn't put your thing in, you don't get a point towards the consistency award. So that everyone has to post every day. And then I also do that for like my coaches. So like she said, it's basically just making lists and stuff. And Andrea's video on the Facebook groups of like organizing them on the side. I put them in the order that I want to go in every day. So like every day, my first priority is coach basics, my new coaches that are just learning. Then I go into Emerald, then I go into Shooting to Diamond, then I go into my Team Boom 3, my challenge group, and I go in and post my workout, and then I like and comment on anyone who's introduced themselves. And if I see like, say Sydney has someone who posted, then I'm going to message Sydney and say, oh, this person looks really good, like, oh, whatever, like if I see someone standing out in the groups too. So kind of like how she said of like spending your time a little bit on everyone, like in order. But
yeah, and putting like the biggest priorities like on the top of your list and then crossing it off, moving to the next thing.
I think that organizing the groups on Facebook really helped me. So I'm not like all over the place. So I know exactly who I'm hitting first. And then then I'm going into our Diamond group and then the Boom Fam group. So I get ideas to post in my coach group and stuff throughout the day. So
yeah, I like that. That's like a new, kind of fairly new thing they let you do. Like, cause we're all in so many groups. It's nice that you can like label groups as like one of your favorite groups. So it always like shows up on that left side of your Facebook page.
Yeah.
That's helped me a lot too.
Kirsten wants us to share the screen and show how to organize the group. Andrea made a video on organizing them, but
I can do it. Want me to do it?
Yeah. I don't know if did you show how you can pull like some up higher than others?
Yeah, hold on. You see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these are all my groups. So when you hover over groups, you just hit more. And then you can manage your groups. So I have all of these groups, like Amy said, are my priority. So like Coach Basics is my top priority. then my coach group, this is my free fitness group. This is our PIO group, our shooting to diamond group. So if you wanted to add your whatever group to a favorite, so it goes on your left-hand side further up, you just hit this button right here where it says add to favorites, and it'll be added in that group. You can also hit this little button here, the star flakes, and then you can hit edit group settings. Oops, sorry. Go back. You can edit, notifications. So you can turn it off, or you can hit if you want just your friend's posts. So sometimes I do tell my coaches to turn it off, so maybe like they only see my posts, or if it's overwhelming to them and they tell me, like I try to listen to my coaches. If they say it's like everyone's getting a lot of notifications, then I'll show them how to turn that off.
Annie, do you know so you can show them how to make things above each other once they're on there? I'll show you. How do I share my screen?
Annie has to unshare hers first.
Okay.
And then Annie, there's like a share screen button.
Yeah.
I tell everyone to turn off the notifications in any group, every group. And because you're gonna, especially those groups that you're gonna go to anyway, your challenge groups every day, you're gonna go to the coach groups every day. Those are your priority. Turn off the notifications because you're gonna go there, and it's just gonna be a distraction.
I can't move this thing. Okay. I have a lot of messages. Let's see. So all of my groups are in here. So this hasn't started yet, but like that's going to be my first priority. People that, like Bridget was saying, you're prospecting to. So in order to move them, I think you just click this button and hit rearrange. And then, so say I want this at the top, I can just drag that there. So like for me, my first priority is my internship when it starts, and then my coach basics, my path to emerald, shooting to diamond, the challenge group this month, my challenge group, and then getting in here to look for things to post in here. And then another thing I do is I always have a contact list. So these are all people that like I constantly have this here, and I know like who's going to be signing up when, who's going to be getting into like who was in the internship group, who's going to be in the next one, and then my PIO people, so that when I go into my PIO group, I can just tag all of them when I do my post.
Amy,
so that's, and then I like
tell them about the you made that 12-minute video that tells you how you organize your day. What did you do with that?
I have it. I was going to share it in the Path to Emerald. It's in the Path to Emerald. I think it's tomorrow. But so
That's cool. I didn't know you could like. I knew that you could like go to all groups and then like click on add to favorites.
So
you could like rearrange.
Yeah, I actually, so my new thing now is to watch YouTube videos on like personal development or like Beachbody coaching things. So I watched, I think it was Scotty Hobbs, and it was like his day-to-day tasks and how he like doesn't get sidetracked because he gets so many messages and stuff. And he said he never ever looks at like the notification button at the top of people who are like tagging him and liking and stuff. And he focuses on one task at a time, like Bridget was saying. So like if he's focusing on doing his follow-ups and doing his messages, then he is going to start at the bottom of his message inbox, message all the way through. He's not going to message people as they pop back up. Like, so say you, Pat, I messaged you and you messaged me back. I'm not going to message you back until I finish with all my other messages. And then he like goes into all of his groups, and then he does like, so he doesn't jump around. So like Bridget was saying, spend 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. And don't ever look at the news feed or all of that stuff. If you're going to do with the news feed stuff, make an interest group that you learned in Coach Basics of people that you are specifically targeting and you want to go in and like and comment on their stuff. So
yeah, I go on YouTube and watch Scotty Hobbs videos all the time.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He has a lot of like good tasks of staying on track and not getting like sucked into things you don't need to be doing. So
I think it would be good if you shared I know it is 12 minutes long, but I watched it and it was very organized. Amy made this video she shared with me that maybe you could put it in the Boom Fan. It's how you organize your day and what you do, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, how you make these groups. I mean, I thought it was really good.
I got a lot of that from Scotty Hobbs. So after I watched his, I was like, okay, I'm never looking at that notification thing. I'm never like jumping around back and forth, and like I'm focusing on one group at a time and stuff. So
Hey, Amy, was that contacts sheet that you pulled down, was that specific to your Mac, or was that something that was on Facebook? Because I don't have a Mac. I have an iPad and just like a laptop.
wait, this right here.
Yeah.
Oh, this is just an Excel spreadsheet, and I just made it small so that it wasn't taking up my whole screen. So like if I need to like contact people, I just make this smaller, and then I have this sitting right next to it, so I don't have to like jump back and forth.
Oh.
You can also make that on Google Docs, the spreadsheets. And I used to use Excel as well, but after some computer crashes and things, and being out of town, I can access my Google Doc of contacts anywhere.
Yeah.
And so
that's really cool. Good idea.
yeah, it's much easier. Like for me, the only bad thing is like you have to, if I open it in the same window, then I have to like pull it over to make a new screen, a separate window, and do it like Amy does to like check in with people. But it's not that big of a deal.
I'm starting to get to where I'm starting to get like really busy, I guess, which is good. But I guess keeping it in my head or my random sheets of paper is just not working. So I really need to start doing that. I mean, I've got it under control kind of, but I really need to do that. Like, because I have some people are like, oh, I'm going to coach in 2 weeks, or I have somebody that's like, I want to do this and that. So instead of keeping in my Facebook messages, that's awesome. Like I need to do that. So good idea.
Yeah. One other thing I do that I can tell you is I always have like my specific documents that I want to see every day sitting right on my desktop in order, like my contact list, my step-by-step inviting, Coach Basics, Emerald, like all of that stuff. So just so you like are more organized and have it right on your desktop all the time.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's what I do.
I had a question for Bridget.
Hey, Jenny.
Hi. When you were talking about number 2 with your business activity tracker,
Mm-hmm.
you do it in Google Docs and you share it with your team.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you get that? Where are you guys?
The business activity tracker. There is a business activity tracker in the Coach Online office, but the one I used is like when we first started Coach Basics in October. I don't know if Pat did it or who made it, but he kind of made it to like our Team Boom, and then I've just switched some things around and taken some things out for my group. But I can share that. I just have it in a Google Doc. On my drive, and I've shared it with like Coach Basics and stuff, so I can share it in the Team Boom coach group. But it's just, step by step, like how many people did you add to the group? How many people did you add for coach conversion? Things like that. And coach conversion is not going to be on the Coach Online office one. It's just a little different. So how many hours did you work a day and things like that.
Every day you keep track of their activity in that?
I have no idea what you just said. You're breaking up. Nothing. You can type it in.
I want to show a little trick that I use real quick here. This works. You guys see my screen right now?
Yes.
So like Google Docs is what I use. So like if you're on Google, I just go to like Google Doc, and as long as you're signed into like your Gmail or or your Google account, then you have Google Docs. And once you go to Google Docs, you can create any doc right here. You click here. You can create like kind of like a Word doc, or you can create a spreadsheet. And so like I have them all right here. And so I got like my pile people doc right here that I can always edit all the time. So that's perfect there. But I wanted to show one other thing that I do, like how Amy has them on her desktop. I can minimize this.
Lots of Pio sold.
If you highlight this link here, how do I like freaking, and then you drag this link to your desktop on a Mac at least, and you just drop it, then you're going to have a little link that you can like have right on your desktop. So anytime I need to go to my Pio People spreadsheet, I can just click on that link that's saved on my desktop right there instead of having to go to Google Doc and then click on the Pio People doc, which has saved me a lot of time.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I like that.
I would share my screen in my Google Docs, but since I'm logged in as Pat, it just wouldn't work for me. But I know I did a video with like just my team and went over like how I do my contacts and the business activity tracker, and I can share that video with everyone. It's when it's me and my coaches, like I'm a goofball, so just know that in advance when you watch it. But it explains like my contact list and how to use the business activity tracker.
Awesome. Cool. Does anybody else have any other questions? Gold star for the next question.
I think you just don't like getting off of these, Pat.
I know. No, I have another call in a couple minutes, but nobody has any questions? Cool. All right. I think that's it. Unless you have anything else.
How's Denver?
Mom, that's like not a question.
Well, is it Denver? Beachbody affords him to travel around the country. That's a good question. No, why not?
Yeah, it is true. People are like, do you work? I'm like, they're like, oh, you work.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, I work. I work just as hard as you. I'm able to do it wherever I want, when I want. You know, I can work 12 hours in one day if I want and then take 3 days off. I can do it from Denver, California, Florida, wherever. So, yeah, it's definitely pretty cool. Not going to lie.
And you're laying in a bed, right? You're laying in a bed?
Yeah, I'm in a bed. I got Matt, my cousin Matt. I'm staying with him right now, and his roommate is gone. So I even have a bed, which is pretty nice. It's not even a bunk bed. It's like a real bed, which is cool. Thanks for asking, Mom.
Well, you said a gold star for a question, so.
Yeah. You get a
what?
gold.
You guys making fun of me again? You said you're in a bed. Oh. He was in a bed.
Does anybody else have any Beachbody related questions?
Freedom.
That kind of was Beachbody related, I guess. So
yeah. That's what you can do when you work the business.
Just be consistent. But I think that RSVP thing is going to be very helpful at that. You know, I think a lot of times I get like, I know I need to be consistent, but I get caught up in you know, searching, looking at different pictures and commenting on things. And I think like having that RSVP to make sure I'm hitting those 4 quadrants is great. And kind of to go back to like Sarah Korbecki's question about like how much time to be spending, you know, on your performers, on helping your coaches. I think the RSVP thing's perfect for that because you should be spending about 25% of your time on helping your coaches, 75% of your time on, you know, recruiting and selling and bringing in very new people. So I think that's perfect. I mean, you know, once you get to like the point where, you know, you're a 5-star diamond or 10-star diamond, then you have a ton of coaches, then that might shift a little bit. But I think everybody, including me, like I think 25% is perfect for, you know, working with your coaches. And if you don't have coaches or you only have a few, then more time for you to spend on recruiting, selling, and bringing in very new people. Cool. Right. Anybody have any questions? Anything they want to share?
I had just had a question, but then you answered it. Mine was like, what happens when you're doing the RSVP? Because thinking about that and also thinking about Eat That Frog, I know that my big giant frog was inviting. If I don't get in and get my invites done right away, something might happen during the day and I never get back to that. So what if you set this timer for 15 minutes, and then once that 15 minutes is up, it's like, well, I'm nowhere near where I thought I was going. That's how I end up doing these really long days, because I'm like, I'm giving myself this hour, but I'm not where I wanted to be yet. And so I'll just keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it.
That's why you have to make a to-do list and go by your to-do list. Like if you're spending 15 minutes and you haven't gotten what you needed to get done, you know, why are you not getting it done? Like, what are you doing in those 15 minutes not to get what you set out to get done? Makes sense.
Well, I mean, it's like, yeah, I have a to-do list. It probably has too much stuff on it because I'm used to overbooking myself for everything. But yeah, I don't know. I take my time doing things. So it's like 15 minutes it's gone.
Yeah. Like for me, if I don't, usually I'm going to spend at least 30 minutes a day on each of these categories, but I still do a 15-minute timer because, if 15 minutes has gone by and my timer's going off and I'm still not done, I'll do another 15 minutes, but I know that I'm going to do that I've been coach for, almost 2 years. So I feel like, I need to spend more than an hour a day on it. So that's what I do. But, when you're first starting, 15 minutes a day on each of the categories should be enough. And if you don't have like new coaches, like Pat said, just to work with, then you spend, more time in those first two so that you can get some coaches. So I just, you got to prioritize, what's important. So
how many hours do you actually spend, Bridget, a day?
I probably spend like an average of 3 hours a day. Yeah.
Well, you have more coaches and you have more going on.
Yeah. I mean, and it just depends because sometimes I'm not good at, I don't always follow my own advice and I need to. Like there's some days where, it's easier than others. So, but I've been really just, after Summit, I've been really good about being consistent with writing my to-do list. So it's helped me to stay on track. So I see it. It's right here every day.
Okay.
Cool. Anybody else have anything?
Bless you. Bless you. Sorry, I thought.
That counts. Cool.
I just want to add something though, because I was just thinking about, how everybody, like for me, if I get to where I'm like, oh, I don't have time or I didn't get it done, I don't go to bed now till I get it done. If I'm tired and I'm in bed, it's like 10 o'clock and I didn't finish my to-do list, like I make myself get up and, I finish what's on my list. I keep inviting and I just keep doing it so that I can get to where I want to be, because I feel like we're all our own obstacle, It's not really hard. You just got to get it done, make a list, complete it, and, keep pushing. So.
Yeah, there was a book I read recently that said, make your to-do list, and if you don't get it done, you failed. Like, if you're not done with your to-do list, like, you failed your day. So when I read that, it kind of was like a slap in the face. Like, I've got to get that to-do list done.
Like, I feel like if I don't do the invites or I only do a couple, then it's going to take me that much longer to get to Diamond. So if I do 25, why don't I do 50? Because it doubles, it makes it faster. So you just got to do it.
Yep.
Really. Even if you don't have time, it's 1 a.m. and you have that time. Because me with 2 kids, sometimes I can do it from 11 till 1 a.m. That's when I got to do it if I'm going to make it happen. So.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to sacrifice sleep.
Yeah.
Sounds bad to say, but it's true. Sometimes that's like the one sacrifice you have to make is instead of getting 8 hours, you get 7 or maybe even 6, sometimes 5 hours.
Well,
not doing
sleep is still an important part of health.
Yeah.
And what we're trying to promote, you still need 4 hours of sleep is a little, how are you going to function the next day? And it also, you have to figure out what time of day works best for you. Like, I'm a morning person, so first thing in the morning, I can get done twice as much that I can get done at night when I do it in the morning, first thing when I wake up. So that's just figuring out when it works for you. Still getting your sleep, but Kirsten, we don't sleep 12 hours a day. We're not a baby.
I was actually gonna call Kirsten out on that one too. There was definitely days like when I was working full time that I was, going to bed at like 1 or 2 in the morning, getting up at like 7 in the morning. I was a little bit tired the next day, but I wasn't doing it like every day, so I'd catch up the next day. But those like little sacrifices like that made a huge difference down the road. I think a lot of people are like, they say they want to be successful at this, they want to do it, but they don't want to be as successful as bad as they want to sleep 10 hours a day. So there's kind of like a disconnect there. But Kirsten's gotten better at that after we had a few talks.
I think 7 is a good number.
Yeah.
7, Amy.
8.
Mom, you're getting photobombed.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
Now I do. Now, like I used to do it the last thing before I went to bed was like when I do my power hour, and then I was like so fired up that I couldn't fall asleep. Now I do it like first thing in the morning. I'll get up a little bit earlier, and that helps me like set the tone for the rest of the day. Like it's not like in the back of my head, all day long. Like, oh, I got to do that. Same with my workouts. Like I used to work out when I get home from work, and it was like kind of always hanging over my head all day. Now I get that done first thing, and I feel a lot better because I got that going. I got my blood flowing. I feel a lot better from the workout, and I don't have it hanging over my head, which is nice too. So definitely the morning person thing. I'm not a morning person, but now that I like have made it a routine, it definitely has gotten a lot easier.
Like for me, because I have another job, I have a full-time job right now. I wake up like at 5:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and I do all my invites and I do all that I'm supposed to do. And sometimes my hours running more than 1 hour, usually about like 2 hours, because I'm just starting with everything. And I just kind of, and like for example, like in the evenings, I don't get home usually till about like 6 or 7. I get lucky if I get home at 5. And some days I get like back home like at 9 o'clock. And sometimes like I do something ahead of time if I can, because that way like I know if there's not going to have enough time like the next day to do something, I do it the day before.
Dedication.
Hashtag dedication.
Yeah. Good job, Victoria.
Awesome. Thanks.
All right, cool. Oh, guys, thanks for hopping on. Bridget, that was awesome. I know you have like some like document or something with the RSVP stuff on it that you're going to share in the coach group, or if you already did, that we can kind of all have.
Yeah, I'll share that. I'll share the business activity tracker for our team, and then I'll share how I do like that video I made. Maybe I should watch it first.
Awesome.
So I'll share it with you guys.
Thank you, Bridget. That was awesome.
You're welcome. Good
All
luck,
right, guys.
everyone.
Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you guys soon. And Bridget, you're going to have to download, upload it to YouTube.
Okay, will do.
All right.
Adios, guys.